Hi everybody. We are going to make a new game here on Scratch, and this will teach us several new skills, such as using variables and being able to use our mouse a bit more thoroughly than we have in the past. We'll also improve on some other things that we have already worked on in our last tutorial, such as using messages to broadcast different things across several sprites. So I'm right here in my Scratch homepage. So I'm going to go to Create. And here I am at the opening page. So I don't need the cat for this game. I'm just going to get rid of him, delete, and I'm going to name my game. We're going to save a city in this game from Annihilation, so name it along the lines of something that would be accurate there. So let's try save this wonderful place, please. But you can name it whatever you choose to. All right, the first thing we're going to take care of here are the backgrounds. So we're going to have two backgrounds in this game, and I'm not right here on stage. I'm going to go over to backdrops, and I'm going to pick my first one up from here, and I'm saving a city. So I kind of do want a city here, not a pool or the moon or a hayfield. So we are going to choose Night City. If you want to choose something slightly different, that's fine. And there we have that there. And all we're going to do now is we're going to have one more background. That will be where the instructions go. And I'm just going to make this black so that we can see them. And right there. And that's all we need for the backgrounds in this game. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take care of the instructions first, and we're going to make a sprite with the instructions. And just like we did in our second game, we're going to paint the sprite, and we are going to get our text here. You can pick whatever font that you want. I kind of like the Glory. I don't know what that is. Well, let's try Scratch font. That's pretty good. And let's go save. Black won't show up very well in a black background, so let's try red. So, there we go. Save our city from the virus. So save the city. Save the city from the virus. I'll make that right there. And give a few instructions. Use your mouse to control I'm going to have a dinosaur as my character, but you can have whatever character that you want. But I am going to write dinosaur. Use your mouse to control the dinosaur. And this game is going to be a little different because we're going to have various degrees of difficulty. And so I am going to say pick your difficulty, make sure you spell it right, to begin. All right, and that's that right there. And just press this paintbrush, and that will just make it perfect right there. And if you do want to make it bigger or smaller, you could always highlight it. So I go to select, and I just draw a box around all of it. It's important that you do go around all of it, or else it will not make everything bigger. So I am going to do that, and I'm going to stretch it a little and get off in the paintbrush, and now it'll be a little bigger. Okay. All right, let's give this some scripts just so we could take care of this. This is going to have very simple scripts here. We're going to have the first thing that's going to happen always is that the green flag is clicked. So when this green flag is clicked, we want the directions to show up. So just go to Events, and when the green flag is clicked, show it. Very simple. And we are going to we are going to broadcast a message to begin the game like we did in the game before. And so quite simply, we're going to make a new message. Can we do it from here? Let's see. We're going to make a new message. Yep. And we're just going to call it start because it's going to start the game. So we have our new message start. When the start message is broadcast, then all that's going to happen is hide. So very simple. That's all the commands that we need for the instructions. Now we're going to have 3 levels of difficulty here. We're going to have easy, medium, and hard. So to make these, we are going to need to make new sprites for all 3 of these so that when they're clicked on, they'll execute different commands. So let's go back to name sprite, and all we're doing is make sure it's red. Probably want to have the same font. Let's have one for easy. Okay. Let's have one for medium. And let's have one for hard. All right, and these are our 3 difficulty levels. We want to move them into spots where they will look good. So easy. Make sure you select that. Easy, medium, and hard. There we go. Okay. Now, what we want is for when the user clicks on either of these sprites, they will change the game later on. So let's play around with the commands in these sprites, but in our scripts here. So first thing we want to do is make sure when the green flag is clicked that they're there. All right. So we want to make sure that they show up when the green flag is clicked. That's key. Now to make sure that we are, or I will take care of that later, but you can right click and duplicate it, and you could put them into the different areas and that will show up. So if you put it in the medium, now that will be in medium, but we didn't put it in hard, so it won't be in hard. But we are going to make some more commands out of this. So when the green flag is clicked, it is going to show up. Now, what we want to do is when it is clicked, changes a variable. So this is a new kind of concept that we're dealing with. If you go down to this orange thing called data, it allows you to make a variable. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my variable, and I'm going to say this is going to be the virus speed. Virus speed, and I'm going to click OK. Now, when you have a variable, it's a number that can change depending on what you do, and you'll see the practical application of this in a little bit. But right now you could see that we could set the virus speed to 0, we could change the virus speed by 1, we could show the variable, or we can hide the variable. So we want to hide this variable first of all, just because we don't need it to be seen. But this will allow us to change the number. So let's say we want the virus speed to be 3. If we set it to 3, it will be 3. Actually, I'm going to show it just to see. We set it to 3, and now if we change the virus speed, 4, 5, and so on, we could change it by whatever number we want. So we want to change it by 5. Now it's at 6, so we'll go up to 11. See? And there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this. So we have our virus speed. Now, when the green flag is clicked, hide this again, we are going to show easy, and we're going to do an if and then statement. So this is the first time we've done this with the mouse, but we want 2 things here. We want if it is touching the mouse, so if it is touching the mouse pointer like that, then something's going to happen. But that's not the only thing that we want. We also want it to be touching, and we want it to be clicked too. So we need the touching the mouse pointer and the mouse down. If we don't have both of these, it's not going to work. Now, if you look down here, you can't just put them all together like that. It doesn't fit. So what we need to do is go down here to operators and see this little and thing. This will allow you to put multiple things into one command. So now we have if it is touching the mouse pointer and the mouse is down, then something will happen. But this will only happen if both of these are met. So if it is only touching that, but the mouse isn't down, if the mouse isn't clicked, then nothing will happen. If the mouse is only clicked, but it's not touching, then nothing will happen. But if it is here and we click it, then something's going to happen. So what we want that thing to happen is, since this is the easy, we want to set our speed variable here. So we're going to set virus speed to 5. Right. So if this is clicked, then we are going to set the virus speed to 5. After that is done, we're going to start the game, and we're doing that with the start event, which we created before, and we're going to broadcast start. Now we want to make sure it's wrapped in a forever block so that this always happens. It's important that the broadcast start goes on the inside of the if, not on the outside. I had a lot of trouble figuring that out before, so you don't want to do that. And we show that, and that should be it. Now we can duplicate this to all the different difficulty levels. So duplicate and duplicate. And I guess you don't need to duplicate. You can just drag it in and it will work. So I have that, get rid of that. And I have one here in medium, and I have one here in hard. Now the only thing I need to do is, because we want the difficulty to be different. So we have easy, it's at 5. Medium, we're going to change it to 10. And then in hard, we are going to change it to 20 is a bit too difficult, so let's try 18. So now we have our 3 difficulties. Now we want to make sure that when we receive start, all of the directions, all the easy, medium, and hard, they are all gone. So I am going to duplicate, bring it into there, bring it into here, and bring it into here. And now all of these should have when I receive start, hide, when I receive start, hide, when I receive start, hide. That will take care of everything. And I just want to make sure this looks good, so I'm going to right click, clean up, and it'll make it nice and organized. We don't need 2 of those commands. Right click and clean up, that will take care of that. Right click, clean up, and right click, clean up. Okay. Now we have all of the instructions taken care of. Now let's start with the actual game. So first thing we want to make sure is that our backdrop is switching when we need it to. So when we click on the green flag, we want to make sure that it's in this black backdrop, not against the city, so that we could see it better. So when the green flag is clicked, we're going to switch the backdrop to backdrop 1. So it should work. And when we receive start, we are going to change the backdrop to the city. So when I receive start, we want to switch backdrop. Switch backdrop to Night City. So let's try this out. When I click the green flag, if I click on any of these difficulties, it should bring me to the Night City. Let's try medium. All right, guys, I'm back. Had a bit of technical difficulty there, but what I had to do was just make sure that I'm actually clicking the mouse and not my trackpad. But it does work. So when we click on the difficulty, it brings us to our city. Now the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make our main character of the game. So I'm going to import him. And you could pick what you want, but I am going to have it my dinosaur. Computer's a little. There we go. And I want this guy. He seems like he could save a city. Okay, so what we want the dinosaur to do is that we want him to go wherever we click our mouse. So we want to make sure that he's hidden during directions. We're going to take care of that first. So when the green flag is clicked, all we're going to do is he is going to hide. And when start is given, he is going to show up. Okay. There we go. Boom. Okay. And now, when we receive start, he is going to show up and he is going to, we're going to get a forever block. And if the mouse is down, if the mouse is being clicked, let's see, so if the mouse is down, then we want him to go somewhere. He is going to just glide 0.1 seconds. 2, if you go back here, you can see mouse X and Y X, or mouse X and mouse Y, sorry. All that is just the X axis of wherever the mouse is and the Y axis of wherever the mouse is. So if we put in mouse X, all that is it goes to the mouse, wherever the mouse is on the X axis. If we do mouse Y, that will just go wherever the mouse is on the Y axis. And we want this wrapped in the forever block. So when it receives start, forever, if the mouse is down, then glide 0.1 over to where that is. So let's try this out. All right, we're gonna click, let's click hard just for fun. And now wherever I click, that is where the dinosaur goes. All right, very simple. Now, let's make the second character in our game, not really a character, but it is the virus that we do not want to hit the city. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to paint a new sprite, and we are going to make a yellow ball, just like this. Oh, we want the fill yellow ball. So you might want to hit the red thing there so he doesn't keep on flying around. Whoops. Okay, so get the ball and make sure it's filled, and we just want to make it like that. Go here, it'll show up, and that's what our virus is going to look like. Now what we're going to do is inside our virus, we're going to have it spell out virus, having a V, an I, an R, a U, and an S. So what we want to do is that's 6 letters, so we want to make 6 of these things. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And, or is it? No, it's 5 letters. All right, so we have our balls right here, and we're just going to change the letter, change the costume between each one. So you're just going to go to here, and in the little ball, making sure you have black text, you're going to just do a letter. Okay, and make it nice and big. All right, and put it in the middle. Okay, then you are going to have an I, and boom. There we go. Boom. All right. R. Oops. You gotta. There we go. Okay. The U. And the S. Okay, and now we're just going to switch. There's a little mistake there. I didn't color. Something got screwed up there. That could be fixed. It's colored in the right way. Do without that. There we go. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we are just going to make sure it is switching between the letters. So let's go back to scripts, and Want to make sure that when the green flag is clicked, it hides, just like everything else, so we can see the instructions. When the green flag is clicked, hide, and then when the start is broadcast, it shows up. The start is looks show, and then forever we're going to switch between the costumes. So let's switch next costume. And this should, when you press forever, whoops, it's a little too fast. So we are going to wait between it. Let's try point 1, and it's still too fast. Let's try 0.4. It's too slow. And let's try 0.3. There we go. All right, and that is your virus. Now we want the virus moving around. So we're going to stop it just so we don't have to see it all the time. And we are going to put in this command right here. So when we want to make sure it's starting in the right spot, so on him right there, whoops. When that's clicked, it's going to go there. When I receive start, go to X3 and Y76. We want it to point towards the dinosaur. And we want to do an if and then statement. If it is touching the dinosaur, then we want it to point in a direction. Where is that going to be? Point in direction. And we're going to pick a random thing here. If you go pick random, we've done this before. 45 and -45. And then we are going to have him move in a step. Now this is where the difficulty comes in. So we want him to move, if we have it right here, it's going to say move 10 steps. Now what the variables will do is, if you remember in the beginning, we have set virus speed to, depending on the difficulty, either 5, 10, or 20. So if we take virus speed and put it into this many steps, this will change how fast it moves based on what difficulty there was. So if they did easy and we're setting the virus speed to 5, if we go back here, it will move 5 steps. If they were in medium and they set it to 10, it will move 10 steps. And if they're in difficulty, or if they're in difficult, it will move 18 steps. All right. So that's some of the things that you could do with a variable. We will play a bit more with a variable when we keep score in this game as well. And finally, we want to make sure that if it is on the edge, it bounces off. So it's like a little ball. We want to make sure this is wrapped in a forever loop so that this always happens. And that should be it. Let's try this out. All right, let's medium. Okay. Now we are going to learn how to keep score. So I'm going to clean this up, and we have everything set with that. And we're going to keep score in the virus Sprite. So when I receive start, that's what we're going to have. We want to we need to make the variables first. Sorry about that. So we're going to make 2 new variables. One is going to be the score, and one is going to be the lives. Or let's have chances. They're going to be the same idea. But so one is the score, that's what you want, and the chances are you are going to have 5 of them, and they will slowly go down once the bottom area is hit. So when the green flag is clicked, we want to get rid of these variables. We don't want to see them. So let's have just We can just take care of that. And we want to just hide the two variables. So when the green flag is click, hide chances and hide score. And when I receive start, we want to show those. So let's take care of the score variable first. So when I receive start, it's already up there. We want to set the score to, we want to set it at 0 because we always want to restart. So we're going to go to set score to 0. And we're going to wait a bit. We're going to wait 0.5 seconds. 0.5. And we are going to have an if and then statement. If it is touching the dinosaur, then we are going to change the score by 1. We're going to change the score by 1, and so it doesn't accidentally repeat itself when they're kind of touching there. We are going to wait 0.5 seconds, and now every time it is touching the dinosaur, it should increase that score by 1. And now we want to do something if we beat the game. First, we're going to wrap this in a forever loop so that it always happens. All right, boom. And we're going to have another if and then statement that will happen if we beat the game. And we're going to do some math down here. That's another thing we're going to play around with in this game that we haven't yet explored that becomes very useful. So if we have our greater than and less than statements and our equal statements. So let's put this greater than. If our score, put that there, is greater, we want to have 30 be the winning score. So if our score is greater than 29, then we are going to broadcast something new. We're going to broadcast the end of game sequence. No, where is it? New message. Oh no, we're going to broadcast win. So that's will beat the game. All right. So now when I receive start, it's going to set the score to 0, wait 0.5 seconds. If the dinosaur touches the virus, then it increases our score by 1. And right now you can see the dinosaur is touching the virus, so it keeps on increasing. It's going to wait 0.5 seconds, and if we get our score to 30, it is going to broadcast the win message. And we also take care of that later. And we just, if that happens, we want to stop all the scripts. So let's go to events, control, stop all. Okay. All right. Now let's do the chances variable. So when we're going to do another one of these, when I receive start, we are going to set the chances. Oops. We're going to set the chances to 5. That's how many lives we're going to get, so many chances we're going to have. We are going to wait. We're going to, actually, you know what we could do that might make this easier? We can just duplicate this. All right, we're just going to change a few things in here now, though. So now when I receive start, we are going to set chances to 5. And we're going to wait 0.5. If it is touching, we're going to have a new sprite down here. So I guess we have to make that first. All right, so let's just make this new sprite. This is just going to be something down here that the virus cannot touch. So we're going to paint this, just make a block. And let's have this be red. And boom, right there. And so I've made my little block here with the don't let the virus hit me. And so now I'm just going to go back here and scripts. And if it does touch there, we have chances at 5. If it is touching, that is sprite 6, then we want to change, not score, but we want to change chances by -1. So set it to 5. If it touches down here, then it is going to change our chances by -1 and wait 0.5 seconds. Now what we want, if, we don't want score anymore, if our chances are less than 1, so if it's down to 0, then we're not going to broadcast win, we're going to broadcast lose. We'll play around with what those are. One more thing we're going to do is we're going to go to here, and we want something visual to happen. If it does touch here, it makes it much easier to notice. So if, when start, oops, when I receive start, if, actually it's going to wrap in a forever loop, if touching, if that is touching sprite 5, then we want to change the color effect by 25, and let's just do it for 0.5 seconds. And then we're just going to clear all the graphic effects, make it go back. Clear graphic effects. Okay, so now if that, oh, we need to hide this, forgot about that. But let's say we do this. All right. Seeing that will cause it to change. We could actually make that a bit quicker. Let's do 2. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and let's just come back here, make sure that when the green flag is clicked, it hides. And when it shows. So now we should have that. Good. Oh. Okay, perfect. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, what are we gonna do? We need to make sure that our variables are showing when they press start. Notice how you can see that. So when I receive start, we want to show the variables, show variable chance, and show variable score. And so that when we have this here, we can see where everything is. All right, and you can see how my score increases. And if I were to let it go down, then it, oops, I think we need to have that wait longer. If you noticed, it decreased by 2 when we went down there. So let me just, yeah, let's have this wait 1 second. All right, and that should take care of that. And you can put the scores and chances wherever you want. And now the only thing for us left to do is to have our screen with the winning and the losing. So we're just going to make 2 more sprites, and we're going to have a big yellow, you win. Let's just switch this here so we can see it better. You win. Make it nice and big. Okay. You win. And another one that says the opposite, you lose. Oops. Make it nice and big. Oops. Boom. Okay, so we have our two things here, and we just need to make sure that when the green flag is clicked, they are hid. Hide them. And when we receive the messages that we made before, when I receive, what is this, win or lose? When I receive win, it shows. And this other one, same exact thing, except with lose instead. When we want to hide it. And when I receive lose, it shows. Okay, one more thing that I noticed before. I want to make sure that the dinosaur is going where I want him to in the beginning. So I just want to set him right there when it shows up. So go there. And he was also behind this. We don't want that to happen. So we want him to go to front. Where that's going to be looks. Go to front. Okay. And now we should have just about everything. Let's try medium. And there we go. Now let's see if I can beat the game here. Or let's try to lose the game. It's probably easier. And you can see it. All right. Okay, and it should. Oh, yeah, we want to switch the background to. We want to. When you lose. So let's just make commands here in backdrops. When I receive, we want to make sure we don't want all this stuff right there. When I receive lose, I want to switch backdrops. And I also want to hide everything. So switch backdrop to backdrop 1. And I want to make sure that the dinosaur and all this stuff are hid. So when I receive win, when I receive lose, boom, boom. I want to hide that. All right, and you could just duplicate these for everything, and that should work. Oops. And let's just lose here. And perfect. And of course you could add a bunch of sounds and everything. This is, as you could add animations to your characters if you want. You can play around with this all you want, but that is the basic structure of the game and our most advanced game yet. So congratulations on completing this, and that's it. Take care.